Welcome to Living Practice, the podcast that explores the intersections of spirituality, creativity, and curiosity. I'm your host, Ricky Horvatic. You can find me across the internet as Star Moth Press. And today I want to talk to you about your creative instincts. I know I've talked about this before because I shared when I took a step back from doing the tarot diaries for my Substack essay of the week that it was keeping me from writing every week. And so I finally had to let go of it. And it took me a long time. I had actually thought about it for a long time to take a step back, and it took me a long time to actually listen to myself. And I wish that I had had the clarity of mind and the confidence to know that letting go of a project doesn't mean that that project is going to completely diminish and go away. It maybe just wants to come through in a different form. Before I get into that, I think that we need to talk about the importance of listening to ourselves, listening to that inner voice or inner intuition, however you refer to it, however you experience it, trusting your gut, right? A lot of us, I'm a millennial. I don't know who else is listening to this, but I grew up listening to everyone else around me and letting them take the authority for my decisions and how I felt about things, and just basically handing over what it is that I was doing. And instead of doing that, I'm trying to get comfortable with just trusting what comes through and how I want to feel. And let me tell you, it is not comfortable doing that. I am struggling with it immensely, but this is one of those instances where I feel as though I could have had the tarot diaries transform into a different shape sooner had I listened to my inner voice. So, now that I've had a few weeks away from writing with the tarot and making tarot art and pushing myself in a project that wasn't lighting me up, I now know that I want to offer the essay, the written essay, as part of my mail club and have it be a monthly offering. Part of what I was not liking was that my Substack channel, the email that I was able to send to everybody on a weekly basis, was taken up by this tarot essay, and I didn't feel like I could talk about anything else. It also was a really fast turnaround. I didn't feel as though I was spending enough time with each card. So, one of the aspects of my mail club is that I send out a zine, and now the zine will be a written essay and sharing the art I made about the card in either zine format or newsletter format. It depends. I'm going to play with different formats as to how to make it. I also thought maybe like a brochure format might be fun. But I want to leave myself the freedom to explore how I want that to look. And it's going to be fun because I will be still doing what I was doing before, which is contemplating a tarot card, exploring the themes and seeing what shows up in my life and how it relates to my creativity. I will still be making an abstract art piece that goes along with that, and I will be mailing it to people who are signed up for the $11 tier for the mail club. It seems like such a simple solution now, but it didn't come to me until just recently. So I think that clearing the channel by letting go of the tarot diaries for a few weeks, clearing that channel allowed the space for this new iteration of it to come through. I got really excited about that because it took me a really long time to accept that I had quote unquote failed. And this was a self-imposed project. Like, I had assigned this to myself. I had set the deadlines myself. I had already missed deadlines and extended certain timelines. So I don't know why I took it so personally, but it felt like a failure. And now that I've had clarity, and again, now that I've cleared the channel, I've been able to create in ways that felt more freeing. I see that I wasn't allowing myself the space to create for this project in a way that makes the most sense. I also did not enjoy having the Tarot Diaries be explicitly tied to this podcast, because the podcast is about spirituality and creativity in a broader sense and the role that curiosity plays in that. And I think that I was doing a disservice to the listeners and to myself by trying to focus on just the tarot cards that I was working with from the Tarot Diaries. So that is one of the realizations that came through from my creative instincts. I will say the other thing that I've been doing is a lot more list journaling, and not manifestation work, because I think that that's a much more complicated topic than a lot of people make it out to be. I'll leave it at that for now. But I've been doing a lot of list journaling, and I've been doing that in relation to how I want my business to look. And let me just say that using the word business in terms of my work is difficult for me. It's been very difficult for me to admit that I am actually trying to build a business. I didn't feel like I had a right to do that as a stay-at-home mom. As someone who has since been diagnosed with ADHD, and I realized that I am neurodivergent, I find that it's no wonder I was burning out from the employment systems that I was working for. I was not lit up by that work, and I was trying to fit into a mold that did not fit me. My brain was constantly anxious that I was dropping the ball somewhere. Sometimes I was, sometimes I wasn't, but it was mentally draining because I was always worried about it. Because I come across as someone, at least in a business sense, I come across as someone who has their life together, has their stuff together, is organized. And it's not that I'm not that way, but it feels like I have to be on all the time. And it's very shame-filled if I were to drop that ball. So we are letting go of the shame around calling what I'm doing a business. I am a creative person. I am looking to start a business. I do believe that I have something to offer, and I believe that I deserve to build a self-sustaining income. That's one of the things I've been tackling within my journal. So I've been making lists about what it is I think I can offer when it comes to my creative process, my creative practice, and how I interact with my audience. Taking myself more seriously is part of the reason that you are getting this podcast more regularly. It's one of the reasons that I am setting up an area to do recorded podcasts with the video aspect of it. It is one of the reasons why I have been sharing more about some of my offerings and my book that I published. It's also why I talked so much about my book proposal. And so I think that I'm getting comfortable with following my instincts about sharing what is exciting me. And right now, what's exciting me is the potential of the work I'm creating and how I want to put it into the world. As a person who has had a very low self-esteem and self-worth is something that I'm continuously struggling with, sharing that and feeling like I am able to take up space is a huge step forward for me. So I wanted to say thank you if you've been along on this journey in any way, shape, or form. Free, paid, listener, reader, somebody who just likes or shares my art. I really appreciate any role that you have played in my journey, because in 2018, 2017, I was a walking zombie. And I know I've shared a bit about that journey before. I'm not going to dive into it right now. But I was a walking zombie, and being a parent and tapping back into my creativity brought me back to life. And I do believe that creativity is one of the things that will help us begin to heal ourselves. But more than that, it can help us connect to one another, which I think we really need right now. So if you feel like you're having trouble connecting to your inner instincts, your creative voice, your intuition, and meditation is something where your mind wanders and you think that you shouldn't have to sit there quietly trying to listen to your gut. I get it. I try to meditate when I can, but as an ADHD person, meditating while doing something is actually a lot more helpful. Obviously, there's mindful walking meditation, which I believe was shared by Thich Nhat Hanh, but I might be incorrect on that. That's where I learned about it. I would invite you to also try scribbling if you just want to scribble and meditate that way. It's therapeutic. I know Zen doodling, I think is what it's called. Zen doodling is a great way of meditation, but if that feels too overwhelming or you're too worried about the perfectionism of making it look good, literally just scribble. Pick a color that makes your brain happy and scribble on a page any way you want to. And then just kind of get into the motion and get into that flow state and let whatever wants to come forward, come forward. And then my favorite form of meditation, which you might already know, is the collage meditation. Rip, tear, don't cut, because cutting gets us in that perfectionist mindset. And if you are a collage artist, this isn't about making pretty work. This isn't about making the perfect collage in your mind. It is about just the therapeutic form of ripping and tearing and then gluing things down. Work quickly. I work in a notebook because going from page to page makes it very easy. If I can't find a spot where I want to lay a piece of paper, I just go to the next page and lay it down there, and I can get to it next when I move on. So rip, tear, glue meditation. I would really invite you guys to try that because that is a great way. That's how I tap into my intuition. Finally, I have not updated my Ko-Fi yet, but my mail club is going to have different tiers to it now. I will be offering the Sticker of the Month Club for only $3 a month, where you will get that month's version of the sticker I am getting printed. The $11 a month tier is the regular mail club with the Tarot Diaries essay shared with it. And then the exclusive tier for $22 a month is available. I'm only opening up 5 spots right now. I might open up more if there's interest and if I have availability. But for $22 a month, you will receive a personalized tarot art and zine reading from me. Now, this one-off offering is usually $33, and I'm offering it for $22 for the monthly subscription. It provides you with the abstract art that you will meditate with, and it provides you with a zine with the picture of your cards, the reading, and the journal prompts that you can work with. It is something that helps people stoke their creativity, and I think that it is a very important work that I want to have more people have access to, so that's why I'm opening it up. As soon as Ko-Fi has their website available, I will be updating these tiers, and I will share that when it is up there. And I invite you guys to sign up if you feel called to any of those offerings. Finally, I hope that you guys realize that you are creative beings. Creativity is your birthright. It is one of the reasons why you are here. And I hope that if anyone has ever made you feel like you don't deserve to create, you realize that they are wrong. You deserve, just like everybody else, to create in whatever way your imagination is calling you. So I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. I hope that you try out one of my meditation techniques. And most importantly, I hope that you go make something today.